Hey, what's going on everybody? In today's video, I am talking about hunger. Now this is one of the questions or one of the comments I'm getting all the time when I tell people that I'm doing 18, 20, 22 hour fasts, is they are always gonna ask, how are you not getting hungry during that time? So I'm gonna tell you about what I have experienced with intermittent fasting, as well as I'm gonna give you some tips and strategies and some things to think about if you are getting hungry on your own intermittent fasting journey. Hey, so like I said, I am on average, I would say over the last 2 months, I'm averaging between 19 and 20 hour fasts. I do change up my fasting schedule depending on what I've got going on, but on average, I'm doing anywhere between 19 and 20 hours, which is different from when I started. When I started intermittent fasting 2 years ago, I was averaging between 16 and 18 hours, and I maintained that schedule for the first 6 months to a year on intermittent fasting. Because I've been doing this for a while now, and as I get closer to my own goal weight, I am doing longer fasts, because one, not only do I actually feel higher energy during my fast, but two, it also helps me to maintain and stay in a slight calorie deficit by shortening my eating window. But with that being said, here's some of the things that I have experienced when it comes to hunger. First and foremost, if you're new to intermittent fasting, you have to understand there is going to be an adjustment period. So when you just get started with intermittent fasting, I would say for the first 3 weeks to a month, there is going to be that time where you're going to be hungry in the mornings, which is why I also recommend that if you're getting started with intermittent fasting, you don't concern yourself with trying to do everything under the sun to reach your weight loss goals. So what I mean is I don't want you to try to intermittent fast and change your diet and start a new fitness routine and get in 10,000 steps and drink 100 ounces of water a day. That's too much. Just focus on the fast, because there is a little bit of an adjustment period. So for the first month, you are just going to kind of have to fight through those hunger pangs a little bit. You're going to have to drink water. If you drink coffee, I recommend you drink black coffee or decaffeinated coffee, because studies have shown that decaf coffee helps to stunt that hunger a little more than caffeinated coffee. But you are going to have to muscle through that a little bit. Now, without getting into the science all too much, essentially one of the reasons that you are getting hungry in the mornings when you were just starting with intermittent fasting is because your body releases this hormone called ghrelin, which signals your body to want to eat. And that hormone is released based off your regular eating times. If you're regularly eating at 8 o'clock in the morning, 8:30 comes around, 9 o'clock rolls around, and you have just started intermittent fasting, you're going to get hungry. It doesn't mean you don't have food in your system. It doesn't mean you don't have energy, especially if you're trying to lose weight and have body fat. You have the energy to fuel yourself throughout the day, but it's that hormone that's causing you to be hungry. You just have to fight through that first month. But after that, after your body stops releasing ghrelin around your normal meal times, there are a few other reasons you can get hungry, and here's some things to think about. Now for me personally, I'm doing on average those 19 to 20 hour fasts. So for me, I'm usually breaking my fast around 4 p.m. in the afternoon. So if 5 rolls around and I haven't eaten yet, I will get hungry at that point, usually for the same reason. I'm used to eating at 4 and my body starts to release ghrelin to tell me it's time to eat. But if I get hungry early in the day, there's a few reasons that could be happening. One is I legitimately need to eat more food, need to fuel myself. And what I'll do when this happens, whenever I get those hunger pangs earlier on in the day, is I like to set my watch. I set a timer for an hour. If at the end of that hour, if I'm still hungry, well, that tells me that it's more than just my body trying to signal me to eat, but that I actually may need some fuel. So I set my watch for an hour, and if at the end of that, if I'm still hungry, I'll go ahead and I'll break my fast early and I will eat. Because at the end of the day, listen, we are not only doing this intermittent fasting to lose weight so that we can go on a vacation or lose 60 pounds in 9 months. And that's not the goal. The goal is to live sustainably. And part of living a sustainable life means listening to your body. So if you get hungry early in the day, I recommend you set your watch for an hour. And if at the end of that time comes, you're still hungry, well then go ahead and eat something. Now, one of the other times that I am getting hungry, I struggle with longer fasts on these days, is boredom eating. If I don't have something planned for the day, if I'm just gonna hang around here at the house, or if I don't have a lot of things to do or things to accomplish, I absolutely get hungry and think about eating when I get bored. A great example of that was we just went on family vacation and we had a 10-hour drive up to Tennessee, and I was pretty hungry driving up to Tennessee, wanted to snack, and I know that was sheer out of boredom. Now, when that happens, there's a few things to do. One, you can either give in to your urge and snack during that time, because I do that occasionally because, hey, listen, this is life. I don't live perfect and I don't expect you to either. It's progress over perfection. But when it comes to boredom eating, one of the things that I think about is I like to identify when I have those urges and am I having the same urge multiple times. And one of the times that happens for me is late night snacking. If I'm staying up late, say it's on a weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday night, and I'm watching some movies or I'm just kind of hanging out, I know I'm going to have those boredom hunger pangs after my last meal. So one of the things that I do to combat that is I make sure that my last meal on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday nights, one, it's a little later in the evening, so I will eat until 8 or 9 o'clock. And two, I try to make sure that those meals are big so that even if I am bored and want to eat out of boredom, my stomach doesn't have a lot of room for anything else. So identify, if you are struggling with boredom eating, identify some things that you can do to help curb that. One of the other things that I can do, for example, today is a great example of that, is I didn't have a lot of things planned today. It's still early on. It's 11:30 right now. I plan on breaking my fast at 4 o'clock today. I decided to film some YouTube videos. If I had not decided to do this today, I would probably be tempted to do some boredom eating. So if you struggle with that early in the day, well then I recommend you plan some things, keep yourself busy, drink plenty of water, drink plenty of fluids. And my final tip for hunger with intermittent fasting is you look at what kind of foods you are eating, because certain foods will make you more or less hungry the day following when you're doing that fast. So for me, example, I know if I have a lot of carbs, or if I finished my fast with high carbs, say I have spaghetti for dinner and I don't finish it off with a protein shake or something high in proteins and fats following the carbs, I'm going to wake up more hungry. And that is just a simple matter of foods. That is just a simple matter of fact that we all react different to different kinds of foods. So when it comes to that, experiment, see what works for you, and see if you eat this kind of food, you are more or less hungry the following day. And if hunger is something you struggle with and you find a food that you like to eat and enjoy eating and it helps you be less hungry the following day, well then just eat more of those foods. The downside is that is going to be different for every person. So you're going to have to experiment a little bit. But if I give you a word of encouragement, it's this. Hey, listen, we are trying to figure out how to get and live healthy for the rest of our lives, which means sometimes we're going to experiment and it's not going to work well, meaning I'm going to try to eat something and I'm going to be ravenous the next day. And if that's the case, accept it for what it is. Set your timer for an hour, and if you're still hungry, well then go ahead and eat, and just remember that and make an adjustment the next time. We are not in a race, and that is the one thing that hurts us more than anything else, is assuming that we need to meet our goals quickly. We don't. We need to learn and experiment with our bodies, and the same goes for hunger with intermittent fasting. If you want to see some more tips that I've got for intermittent fasting, I'm going to leave a playlist on the screen now. I encourage you to check that out. And remember, we're not looking to lose weight fast, we're looking to lose weight forever. Thanks again, and I will catch you in the next video.